Morning, everybody. Welcome to Traders Report on 3.0 TV today. So, I'm looking first of all at Bitcoin. Obviously, we've had, I think you're aware that on the last show we mentioned that the outlook is quite bullish, that we'd had a corrective move to the downside and potentially bullish looking forward. And we've had this news out of from Trump and President Xi out of China about basically things are looking to come to an agreement there on trade talks. So the tariffs might not be all they were set out to be, which is what caused the negativity. Then obviously following that corrective negativity, we expected some positivity in the market, and that's precisely what's happening. That's what's caused the pump after the good news, which actually came out yesterday, and it's actually moved pretty sharply since yesterday, and hopefully we'll continue on that. But there are two potential outlooks here for Bitcoin. So I've got it labeled as an A, B, and a C. So that's 3, 3, 5. That's what's called a flat correction potentially. But the other alternative is that this move down from the top, which is in five waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is potentially an impulsive move to the downside. Then we have an A, B, C to the upside. So really, we need to watch very, very closely over the next couple of days with news coming out. And of course, we have the Federal Reserve meeting, the FOMC interest rate setting on Wednesday, which is set to be a cut in rates of 25 basis points. But it all depends on what the news conference comes out with and the statement that accompanies the decision to see what the outlook is for future rate cuts, potential softening of monetary policy. So there really are, as I say, two potential outlooks. At the moment, I prefer to remain bullish, and we'll see that in a couple of the other assets that I look at. So I prefer to look at this as a flat correction ABC, and that we should rise to new all-time highs with Bitcoin. And it's quite positive for other assets as well. If we look very briefly at Ethereum, again, we can see quite a corrective move to the downside. I've got it labeled as ABC for a wave four. And I think that's pretty clear because the movement up has already overlapped this movement down here. I can't see five waves down because there's too much overlap. So I do actually, this gives me, when you look at confluence or coordination of between different assets, um, it looks here as though it's corrective down. And so we should move up. This is a wave one up, ABC two down, and we should move up quite sharply in the next wave. So I think Ethereum's going to move to new all-time highs. And if that's the case, the correlation between these assets will mean that that bullish interpretation of Bitcoin will be the one that follows through. Now, XRP has been a really interesting one. We have this level here, which is actually it became a level of resistance, overhead resistance, when we broke through, retested to the upside, and it failed first time round, and we fell back in ABC. Seven waves, in fact, so we know it's a corrective move down. So moving up again. I do think that we're going to break this overhead resistance. We have just broken it slightly. I think that we will break it and move to new all-time highs for XRP as well. Looking at Solana, that's been quite bullish. I'm looking potentially at an ending diagonal here for Solana. We've got a wave four down here, and ending diagonal is one where you can get overlap within the wave. So potentially we've got wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think a fifth wave to the upside. And I suspect that we may sort of get to the previous all-time high, 295, maybe even just breach it slightly. Here's the previous all-time high. That's my target ideally. We could just break it potentially if this is a wave three, some sort of massive expanded flat wave four, possibly, and then we're looking at ending diagonal wave five. Could and should take us to new all-time highs for Solana, but following that, we could get quite a sharp reversal. Chain link has also been a really good one of late. If I look at that shorter term, I have been expecting some upward movement. And this is one or A, even if it's an A wave, and this is a B wave, the C wave should take us above this local high here. So again, I'm quite bullish on Chainlink. And actually that theme follows through the various assets. We'll just look very briefly, probably finish on gold. I know that's of major interest to people. I think that the move down is corrective on gold. I'll just move to the 4 hour. Well, briefly, before I do, I'll just show you, we've got a wave three here. We've got some kind of triangle wave four, and then a final push up in wave five. So that's made up of 1, 2, 3. The three is, could easily be here. probably here. And then that's an ABC wave 4 and probably a final push up in wave 5 to complete the move up in gold for the time being. Then we should get, again, quite a substantial correction. So following a really nice rally that I'm expecting in risk assets, and that's probably going to be spurred by maybe peace in the Middle East, maybe an agreement between Xi and Trump, and also interest rate cuts, so softening of monetary policy. So everything is lining up at the moment to give us some nice movement, nice upward movement on risk assets, and that's what we're looking forward to. So hope that was helpful. Thank you so much for listening, and look forward to catching up again soon.